All right, here we are back with another episode of Bubba and the Old Man.
15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 45. There goes Davis. Oh, my God. Davis is going running all the way back. Auburn's going to win the football.
All right, earlier today, Coach Hars held his first press conference since his introductory press conference. And this show is going to be about the entire press conference, breaking down what we think he said, or what he said, and what we think it means. I don't know about Bubba, but I'm pumped. I was ready to throw on some pads and go play for the man. I mean, every time I've seen him in an interview, he brings a lot of energy.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic about the hire. Like, I'm not as high on the interview as you were or the press conference, but I mean, I liked it. I liked what I heard. I just didn't think it was like.
What really made me excited about it was I feel we got answers that wasn't coach speak. I like where the team is. We're going to have a good week of practice. We'll be ready for the game. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, I know. And, like, I like that, but, like, I like that it wasn't Bill Belichick-esque.
Yeah.
But I don't think he gushed or anything. But
no, I don't think there was some coach speak in there, but there was also, he did answer, the questions. It wasn't all coach speak, but it wasn't, what am I trying to say? It wasn't, he didn't answer everything, go into detail and depth.
Thank God, because this video would be even longer than it's about to be, and it's going to be a long video.
But it was a good press conference. I really enjoyed it. But
on to the actual press conference. It's going to be a long video, man. Like, we got 3 pages of stuff to go over. So if I look down, I'm looking at a piece of paper because I took notes. Burt Watts. He was a Fresno State defense coordinator. He was a Memphis linebacker coach. And at Auburn, he's going to be coaching outside linebackers, special teams, and edge rushers. So, no more T. Will, which is very disappointing.
Well, it is for a recruiting standpoint. I think T. Will was one of the better recruiters that we had. But, if Coach Hars don't feel that he fits what he's trying to do, I've been saying it. I'm going to pound on it until Coach Hars is either, one of the most successful coaches at Auburn or he is unsuccessful. Trust the process.
Yeah. The homeboy, Burt, apparently he likes Burt. So we like Burt.
Yeah.
Because he likes Burt.
Don't really know an extreme amount about him. Coach Hars said he's a good recruiter. He said he's very intelligent on the defensive side of the football. I'll give him a chance. I'm ready.
Yeah. Next, Jeff Pittman, strength and conditioning coach.
This is a spot we've been lacking. I mean,
many injuries.
Yeah, and it seems like we get tired in the fourth quarter. Auburn's mantra under Gus was fast and physical. In my opinion, the physical part went out about 5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know what happened with us. But Jeff Pittman, he was at Boise State 99 to 06, so I believe he was there with Hars as a player.
Yeah.
And then he's been with Coach Harsin since 2013, Arkansas State, and then 14 on, or 8 years. It was 8 years.
8 years, 7, 8 years, whatever.
For 14 on, he was a strength and conditioning coach, and he was very successful.
Yeah.
Because those teams didn't get gassed.
Yeah. So I'm down with that hire. I really like it. If you're gonna get the guys in the weight room and make them work, that should be one of the easier parts of being a football player. You should want to get in the weight room and get stronger.
And I don't know what was wrong with our strength and conditioning coaches, but they were not good.
Get them in there, make them work.
Yeah.
We want fast and physical.
Yeah, durability, one of the main problems with us. Every time it seemed late in the season, mid-season, our players were going out. And then we lost all of our consistency and all the
continuity,
everything we had built up. And then Mike Bobo, one of the bigger hires, offensive
Love
coordinator.
this hire. Love it.
Yes. Mike Bobo has had relatively successful career.
He's had a very successful career.
Yeah, at Georgia, it was like 32 points a game overall.
Yeah.
Over there with Mark Richt. Mark Richt, obviously a solid offensive mind, had a pretty successful career, especially at Georgia. You know, he could never get it done at Georgia. But,
they won the conference once or twice.
Yeah, but while he was there, you know, he built a stable house in Georgia.
Yeah.
He kind of did what Gus did, just he was more consistent than Gus was.
Right.
It just never could get over the Saban hump.
But the big thing is developing quarterbacks. If he can do something with Bo, then I'm down for it.
Except for freaking Hudson Mason.
You know, but if you can't, if Bo can't get it done,
it's his fault. It's all his fault.
On.
Yeah, if Gus can't be successful even under this offense that is predicated on the run game from both guys.
You mean Bo?
Yeah, if Bo can't be successful in this offense when, Harsin, very successful, relatively run heavy. Mike Bobo, very run heavy. If he can't be successful in this offense, it's on Bo. It's not, no matter how much talent he got.
You can't keep rolling out to the right.
Yeah,
I mean, every team, picks up on that.
Expect Bo to go into the season as a starter, but I want him pulled if he can't do it. I'm a Bo believer. I've been a Bo apologist to a degree. But, Harsin, very good quarterback coach, and he's our head coach. Bobo, also a very good quarterback coach, all except for freaking Hudson Mason. He's had good quarterbacks, But on to Derek Mason, my favorite hire. I love this man, and I don't know why.
He all he does is have good defenses.
He's high energy. He's great with recruits.
He had great defense at Stanford. He had good defenses with lesser talent at Vanderbilt.
Yeah, they were all right. All right.
But, they were the best part of the team.
Yeah. Well,
other than, a running back here or there.
Keyshawn Vaughn was a beast, man. But Derek Mason, like I was saying, my only issue was, going from a 4-3 to a 3 or a 4-2-5, to a 3-4. But I believe Derek Mason can get it done. He's very intelligent.
I believe it's going to be a multiple defense.
But if you have more than one formation, it's multiple.
Yeah, but you have to have a base.
Yeah.
And it's going to be more than likely a base 3-4.
Which I'm cool with.
That's one of the questions he didn't answer. He all he said today was they're going to have a base.
Yeah, they're going to have a base. And, Derek Mason, he's very high energy, and I like it.
And he can adapt and adjust on the fly.
Yeah. So I believe our defense is going to be elite next year, especially with this guy, my boy Zach Etheridge. I didn't know a lot about this guy until a few days ago. My dad told me about him, or a few weeks ago when we hired him, and I love him.
Yeah, he's a good recruiter. He's in that age where he can relate to these younger players, and they should know who he is for the most part. He was a captain on the national championship team. I love the hire. He's been doing good things, and Houston.
Yeah, they got a good defensive backfield. And he's great with kids, like he said. He can relate to them. Great leader. So not much else to say after that. But then our offensive line coach, Will Friend, which is another one of our big guys that we really needed.
Yeah, got a history of producing. Yeah, I guess the best way to put it. Producing offensive linemen at a high level. He's bounced around, been here, been there, Tennessee, South Carolina, Georgia, but he's back with Bobo. They're good buddies, I love the hire, and I think that's all you need to say about him is he produces.
Yeah. It's hard to evaluate offensive line coaches, but from everywhere we go to look at him, every time he's on the team with an offensive line, that offensive line is at least producing at an above average level.
Yeah, I believe he was at Tennessee last year, and their offensive line owned our defensive line in that game.
A lot of people owned our defensive line, but I know what you mean.
Yeah. I didn't watch Tennessee a lot last year, but I watched that game.
Yeah. All right, now a guy that we retained from the old staff, and that's Cadillac.
I love me some Caddy. Go crazy, Cadillac.
He's a great leader, and he relates to players very well, which is one of the main things that Coach Harsin really, like he said it about every guy, we connect with everybody, regardless. Connect with the players.
You want to have that connection.
This is something I put that I don't think Harsin said, but I think he was
alluding to.
Yeah. He gives us a leg up on recruiting just because of his reputation as a great running back in college and a pretty good running back in the pros too.
Yeah, he had a good little stint.
Yeah, he had a good career. It wasn't very long, but neither was Ronnie's. So,
but.
And then next is Bedell, tight end coach. Don't know him.
Don't know a whole lot about him other than he was the offensive line coach at Boise, and he knows Harsin's scheme, so he'll know how to teach the tight ends to block along with the offensive line in that scheme.
We don't know much about this dude. There's going to be a couple of these guys that we don't necessarily know a lot about.
But they're Harsin guys, and if he trusts them, I trust them.
And my boy with the clean shave, my boy Jeff Schmedding, he's our assistant D coordinator and our inside linebackers guy. He has a lot of experience, and Harsin gave him very high praise, saying he's one of the best coaches that he has ever seen.
Yeah, I think he was the one that won a couple of FCS championships as a linebackers coach at, I think, Eastern Washington.
Yeah.
Or as the DC, or he may have won championships at both.
Yeah.
But that's pretty big. You're going up against teams like North Dakota State, JSU, which is right down the street.
Yeah, I don't know if they play the.
They will in the playoffs.
Yeah, the FCS. I'm a casual fan. I love JSU just because they're hometown and everything.
Yeah, they're right down the street.
Yeah. And then T-Rock, Tracy Rocker.
My boy.
This guy. First thing I put on here, he's angry.
That's great.
Angry. He's very angry.
That is great because a lot of times when you have assistants, that assistants group takes on their coach's mentality, and I'm all for my defensive line being angry.
In that championship year, they were nasty. They were angry. He brought the anger out of Nick Fairley. And he's a very knowledgeable defensive line coach, and he was a great defensive lineman at Auburn, regardless of if he had a good NFL career.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take away what he did in college. Yeah. Sometimes it just don't translate. But he had a great college career, and that's what he's teaching. He's teaching college football to defensive linemen.
Maybe he just couldn't make it in the career because he was just too angry.
Maybe.
Too nasty. But Cornelius Williams, the young gun, don't know much about him either. First thing, unknown, and he's enthusiastic.
Yeah, but Coach Harsin said that he is very meticulous. He's very attention to detail. And then, coaching is basically you're just teaching.
Yeah.
And that's what we need because our wide receivers have not been taught a full route tree.
Yeah. They don't know what they're doing when they get to the NFL.
Yeah, Darius Slayton is an enigma.
Yeah. But all he ran was goes for us and screens. And Cornelius Williams, them boys down at Troy, they were good receivers though.
They were. I mean, he had a lot of first team all conference receivers. In his opening statements, when he was talking about everything, he talked about building a culture.
Yeah.
At Auburn, and I think that's something for me personally that has lacked at Auburn. I don't want the culture at Auburn to be, okay, we beat Alabama. It seems like every time Auburn beat Alabama, it's like the players and Gus just quit. Like everything after that didn't matter.
Yeah, it seemed like Gus.
That's all they wanted to do. They don't hand out trophies for beating Alabama. You're not going to get that big trophy at the end of the year just because you beat Alabama at the end of the regular season.
Yeah.
I don't care. Alabama has proved that, Alabama lost to Auburn, didn't play for a conference championship, but still at the end of the season held up the big trophy. That's what it's all about. That's where I want Auburn to get.
Yeah.
I want them to get to where it's great to beat Alabama, and it's great that we get 365 days to just rub it in.
But it soils it when they still make the playoffs
And
go
win.
win the championship.
And win.
And then the next year they come back and beat us.
Yeah.
Smacks around, go win a national championship. Then they come back, we beat them again, and they still win a national championship. Like, it doesn't matter.
It don't.
Like, sure, it feels good week or so after, then it kind of dies down. You beat Alabama, but you're still 9-4 because you lost your dang bowl game to Minnesota.
Or you go to Atlanta and get smacked by Georgia.
Yeah. Like,
because
we went in with the same freaking game plan.
So the thing about it is, I love, and that's the thing. I heard him in the interview after the press conference, his initial press conference. He did an interview with who? Was it Rob Pate?
I can't remember, man. He's a commentator on
The radio.
Because rest in peace, Rod Blamblett. I believe he passed away.
Yeah, he died in that car wreck. But anyhow, he did an interview, and every time I've heard him speak, it's all about changing the culture, and that's what we need.
Yeah.
These kids need to come in and know that the expectation is to win championships. You got to work to win championships. Day one, you got to win that day. Day two, you got to win that day. And everything builds on that. If you come in and you want to win every day, then you're going to go to workouts and you're going to win.
Yeah.
Because you're going to get a little stronger. You're going to go to watch film. You're going to win because you're going to learn a little more. I love it. And all of that, he said, starts Monday.
Again, I circled this. Hammering, connecting with players. That is the number one thing that I heard every time he spoke. Connect.
Change the culture. Connect with the players you got now. Make relationships. Connect with recruits.
Yeah, that is the main thing, and that's what recruiting is. That's another thing I love. He said, getting a relationship with these kids is one of the number one things. Now sit on his couch or get a freaking Zoom meeting and tell his mama and daddy or grandmother, grandfather, how you're going to take care of their boy.
Yep.
Or now we're starting to see they're going to take care of their girl. Or whatever it is.
Whatever. Anyhow.
They're going to take care of them, and you're going to teach that boy how to either get his education. Another thing I love, hammered on education. And get that kid, mold that child into an NFL player or whatever he wants to go be, a lawyer, doctor, teacher,
engineer,
coach.
whatever. But another thing that I love is he's not backing down from what he believes. I feel like Gus started wavering on his beliefs there at the end because of injuries, which goes back to strength and conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
So he pounded on culture, connection, hard work, and recruiting is 365 days a year. I love that. That means he's not going to be afraid to pass Nick Saban walking out of a recruit's house and walk in behind them and sell them on Auburn. I believe that Gus Malzahn specifically targeted kids that he thought he had a better shot at getting that Alabama wasn't going for.
That's what Nick Saban did. Nick Saban's not, even his first year, wasn't afraid to go up and recruit against nobody. You
can't be. If you're going to recruit and you're going to compete.
Man, it's rare you see these offensive-minded coaches that are just this, I don't know how to say it any other way, but stubborn, that he's going to go head-to-head with everybody.
I love it. I love it. No fear. He can't have no fear.
He's an offensive mind with a defensive mind's, mentality. That's the word I was looking for, the mentality.
And another thing, from what I've gathered, he don't care about star power. You know, the best of the best is going to show up. It don't matter. If, you know, you're going to have your Devontae Smiths that are just head and shoulders better than everybody else, and you can see it. It's obvious.
Your Peyton Mannings.
Yeah.
Regardless who coaching him, he's going to be great.
Right. But, you know, you have a 3-star player over here. I forget his name. He was committed to Auburn for over a year, and Nick Saban flipped him. He was defensive lineman. He plays for the Jets now.
Quentin Williams.
Quentin Williams,
That
3-star
beast, man.
3-star recruit. And Gus had him. And all it took was one time Nick Saban walking into his living room. He flipped, went to Alabama, sat on the bench, and developed. That's what Harsin is pounding on. And I love it. You got to develop these kids.
Yeah, regardless of what star number they are.
Exactly. You know, and that's one of the biggest things that I think we wasn't getting, especially on the offensive side of the ball. We were getting development on the defensive side. You know, we had some first-round picks, but it seemed like they all come off the defensive side.
Or they were second-round picks like Carlton Davis.
Yeah, you know. So
seemed like everything Gus Malzahn touched just died immediately.
Unless it was Cam Newton.
Yeah, he just died. It was just dead. Continue.
Yeah, but that's the thing about it, though, is the development. I love it. He's preaching it. And I think he was looking for coaches that could come in and teach these kids what they need to know. In other words, develop them.
Yeah.
To make them better than what they are when they walk on campus. Because if Gus was the head coach, you know, Bo Nix has not gotten one bit better than he was when he walked on campus.
Just playing with the same stuff his dad taught him.
You know, that's just the way it is. Seth Williams, I love him. He's a great receiver, and I think if he'd have went anywhere else in the country, he'd be a slam dunk first-round pick.
Yeah, but he still needs development.
But he still needs to develop because he didn't get nothing in college. Anthony Schwartz, same way. All that speed.
Yeah.
And he got behind the defense 3 times and actually caught the ball and wasn't overthrown.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Anyhow, I'm going to get off of that. We got to keep going. We still got 2 pages.
Yeah, we're going into questions now.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to put timestamps, you know, to get past our rambling. If you want to go see that, I'll put it in either the comments or the description. But question number 1 was about transitioning 3 times and what he's learned. And
you're talking about transitioning from offensive coordinator at Texas to head coach at Arkansas State, and then from Arkansas State to Boise and from Boise to here.
Yeah, he said he's learned. You have to have a vision. You got a consistent. What he wants to do here is consistent championships. His players have to have integrity. Academics comes first. You know, you got to find the right people, and you got to be patient.
Yeah, I love all of it. I love when he said he wants academic excellence.
Yeah, that's what he said. Academic excellence.
I love that. You don't, you know. Granted, you're getting a scholarship and you're at Auburn to play football. We all understand that. But your first goal there should be to get an education because football's going to end.
Yeah.
You know, either you're going to play out your career and football's going to end when you want it to end, or football's going to end when it decides it's done with you.
Yeah, when it slams its door in your face.
You know, one or the other. And you have to have that education, and we're seeing it now in this world we're living in now, where computers are taking over everything. You got to be tech savvy. That education means more than it ever has.
Like, even if you go here 3 years, you need to get your grades so that when you come back after your NFL career, whether it ends with injury, God forbid, or
you just play a long career and you're very successful,
or you're like Cam Newton, you have an off season of rehab or whatever, and you want to come back and get your education, whatever the case may be, you need those grades and those credits already credited you. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, because I might not know what I'm talking about, but you already have them credits saved, and then you can come back.
Yeah, if you
so
play,
do the work while you're here.
Yeah, if you play 3, Your credits don't disappear just because you leave early for the draft. You can still come back and get that one.
Yeah.
You know.
However it goes in college, I don't know.
Yeah.
Question number 2 is about the defensive scheme, which we alluded to earlier about Derek Mason. One of the first things he said was physicality. And that he said that Derek Mason's going to be able to adjust and adapt, and he will be faced with types of offenses such as tempo, two-back, spread, etc. You're going to be multiple.
Yeah, he'll be multiple in his defense, but they're going to have a base, is basically what he said.
Yeah, and he had great experience, and we have 3 former DCs, or current DCs on our
Yeah, three coaches that have been defensive coordinators in the past.
I'm sorry, my handwriting just sucks.
With Mason, Schmedding, and
Mr. Burt
Watts.
Yeah.
But and you're going to see all of that in the SEC. You're going to face tempo with teams like Ole Miss. You're going to face a spread wide open with like Mississippi State. You're going to face a two-back style with Texas A&M and Alabama.
Yeah.
I know that Alabama and Texas A&M both have variations of spread, but
Bill O'Brien offense is similar to that.
Yeah, you're going to get some two-back. You're going to get power. They're going to run power.
Yeah, it's just Derek Mason. I just think he's too great of a defensive mind to not be able to adapt with the level of talent we have. If he was dealing with talent at Vanderbilt and with the Stanford academic stuff.
Yeah, but he had some great defenses out of Stanford.
Yeah.
Man, he was one of the first D coordinators to shut that Chip Kelly Oregon offense down.
Yeah, no matter how bad Jim Harbaugh sucks at being a head coach, he learned under Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. Anyhow, next question.
All right, recruiting. All right. Building relationships, that equals recruiting. Recruiting the right people, and recruiting never ends, and you got to fill your needs.
Yeah.
That was the high points of that.
Well, that's all common sense, building relationships. We've done touched on it with parents and recruits because a lot of times I know if I would have been recruited when I played, I wasn't near good enough, but that's neither here nor there.
You were getting hinted at by Arkansas State before you dropped out.
I was, but I wouldn't have went anywhere unless Mama said it was okay.
Yeah.
And a lot of these kids today are still the same way. I loved my dad. Don't get me wrong. I loved my stepdad, but at the end of the day, it all boiled down to what made Mama happy.
Yeah.
If Mama ain't happy, ain't nobody happy. So, a lot of these kids, you got to win Mama, Grandmama, or the parental figure in their life. We know a lot of kids, have pretty rough backstory, and they find that one person that they attach to, and that, they got a connection there. You got to make that person feel that you're going to look out for that kid's best needs.
Yeah.
And filling needs, that's obvious, We got to fill the offensive line needs. And since we've had running backs transfer, we got to fill the running back needs.
Yeah, I don't know what we're going to do with running backs right now. We got Worm, who's iffy on leaving, I think. And we got Tank.
Well, we'll be fine. Trust the process.
Next is offense, which is, Bobo and Harsin's thing. And he rambled about this, so this is going to be a doozy. But
the high points to this was Bobo's going to call plays.
Yeah.
And he's going to have his hands in what the nuts and bolts, the foundation, the base of what they want to do. He's going to have his hands in that, and then he's going to the way I took it, he was going to let Bobo fly.
Yeah. Basically the way he explained it was like they're going to get all the offensive coaches together, and they're just going to talk about the scheme in general.
Yeah.
There's some things that Harsin said, this is going to be this.
Yeah.
But He said that there was a lot that was negotiable, certain schemes, maybe blocking assignments, or send this guy in motion because in today's football, on all levels, you have to have motion.
Yeah,
you can't just be stagnant.
Well, you have motion, and a lot of times it'll cause the defense to tip their hand to what they're doing.
Yeah, but I saw a play. I know this is NFL and this is off topic, but my Green Bay Packers had a play last week that Aaron Jones set up, and then it was like a RPO, and they ran Devontae across the line, and then they quick snapped it, and he bolted to the corner, and it was a perfect play because Ramsey couldn't keep up with him. And those are the kind of schemes I want to see.
Yeah.
You got to scheme guys open because we don't have elite talent at receiver. We have good talent, but it's not elite. So you got to be able to scheme guys open, whether it's their speed or getting a slot fade or whatever it may be. You got to get them open.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're not talented enough, I don't believe, yet, because a lot of them are young. To just get open on their own.
True enough. But that comes with any offense. You have to have the right scheme. And all that goes into the week before the game and putting in the offense for the game. What's the defensive tendencies? I'm sure Harsin's going to have a hand in that.
That's his thing.
I'm sure, Will Friend's going to have his hand in it. Biddle, Vidal, however you say his name, the tight ends coach, and C. Will, the wide receivers coach. They're Cadillac, they're all going to be in there. And that put the scheme together for that week.
It's crazy because I think the most mobile quarterback since maybe Vince Young. I don't know if he coached Vince Young under Mac, but I think Bo Nix Demetrius might be the most athletic quarterbacks he's ever had. Outside of freaking Ryan Finley and Brett Ripien.
It could be.
Yeah, even those guys, man, they've played decent in the NFL so far. And the offense, one of the main things he hit on was foundation. Got to have a foundation. I believe the foundation is going to be the power run game.
It is. I think so too, and he's alluded to that. And trust me when I say we got the running back for the power run.
Oh my God, yes, we are gonna he might have a Trey Mason Cadillac here next year. He might just pop off. I'm talking Cam Pitway, the 7-game 1,000-yard tear might pop off.
He could, man.
As long as he stays healthy. But, man, that kid is such a beast.
He is.
Man, we could ride him all the way to the playoffs.
We could.
Man, if Will Friend does his job, man.
I'm excited for next year. I can't help it. I go back, and the other night I was in bed trying to go to sleep, laying there watching the 2004 SEC championship game.
Wasn't it?
That was Cadillac, Ronnie Brown, Jason Campbell, Courtney Taylor.
Ronnie, man, that was one of the best backfields in college football history.
It was.
2 guys that went in the first round, I think. Might have been top 10. I think Ronnie actually went first.
I think they went in the top 5. I'm not sure.
Man,
I think Ronnie went second or third.
To the Dolphins?
And I think Cadillac went 5th.
Man, I was barely
6th, maybe. I don't know. It's somewhere in there.
I was barely alive at the time, but man, going back and watching those highlights, that was a crazy good backfield.
It was.
I don't know if we've ever seen a backfield like that.
Anyhow.
All right, on to the former players as coaches. Now, it's great for recruiting, I think, is one of the main things, and for the Auburn tradition.
And it's great. He touched on, him being a former Bronco and then coaching there. If you're a former player, you have a sense of pride in that university. So therefore, when you're selling that university to a kid, you can sell them on facts.
Yeah.
I've been here, I've done this. And who better to have as former players on your coaching staff than arguably the best defensive lineman Auburn's ever had.
Yeah.
Arguably one of the best running backs Auburn's ever had.
Mm-hmm.
I would put Bo ahead of him, but
yeah, Bo's just different.
Yeah, that's a whole nother level. And then one of the best captains and one of the best stories in Auburn history.
And that was a miracle season. You had the Cam back.
Well, not only that, but what he went through to get back to be on that team.
Yeah, so like these, the only way you could get better is if you had freaking Bo Jackson on this coaching staff.
Yeah, but and another thing is all of these three coaches that were former players make good connections with recruits.
Yes.
They connect well with the players. They have good relationships. He spoke about Zach Etheridge talking to the players when they had their meeting. And he spoke about how the hair on the back of his neck stood up when he was telling his story. I would have loved to have been there. I mean. But anyhow, moving on. He was asked about Cornelius Williams, or what is that his name, Cornelius?
Yeah, Cornelius. That's how little we know about him. We're not even sure about his name.
Cornelius Williams as a coach and why he chose him. Connects with recruits, very energetic, and he made the statement several times of the coaches, that maybe we may not know their names, but they wanted to be at Auburn. That's a big thing, You got coaches that take jobs for money, but he said these coaches, in the interview process and talking to them, they wanted to be there. So that's a big thing. And he hit on his attention to detail, how he's very meticulous. What I took from that is if it's a 5-yard slant or a 5-yard out, don't break it off early, don't break it off late. 5 yards.
Yeah. I don't know if it's like that. Like you could tell from the coverage, if they're playing to your right, I believe. I don't know a lot about receivers. I'm 6'5", 300 pounds. I don't play wide receiver.
Right.
But, I've heard, if they're playing off to your right or something, you break it off a little early, get behind the linebackers, If they're playing inside, then you run the route the way you're supposed to run the route. You run the route right, you get open. That's the way Greg Jennings explained it, I believe.
Yeah, but, I mean, however you look at it, it's all about teaching and developing, and that's what I'm taking from the staff he put together. They're good recruiters. They have a great rapport with their players, and they all love coaching, also known as teaching.
Yeah,
because that's all coaches are, is teachers.
Yep.
You have to love it to work your way up to be great at it.
Yeah.
And then that's what I got from it. This guy wants to be great.
Yeah, I'm sure he's a very interactive coach, being a former receiver in his freaking early 30s. I'm sure he's going to be able to run the routes with them and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, or at least I hope he does that. I hope he's not, lazy or anything.
And ball security.
Next thing he brought up, we're almost to the end, I promise, but filling in needs with high school and transfer portal.
And what he said about this was, he said he would love to fill his needs with the guys they want. I took that as high school players.
Yeah.
And not have any holds on scholarships for portal or JUCO.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. But he said, in normal recruiting, you're going to have holds because you're never going to get everybody you want.
Mm-hmm.
If that's the case, then, you're just outstanding at what you do.
Yeah.
But he said, filling the holes, he said we need O-line, running back, defensive back, safety, linebacker, D-line.
Everything.
Yeah, everything. And if you can't fill that with high school players, then you look at the portal. He said, one of the things I found interesting that I wasn't aware of is February 3rd, it don't end. You're still recruiting after February 3rd, so you still have a length of time there to sign recruits, even if you don't get them on the 3rd. So that's cool. I learned something new. So, you know, the transfer portal, we don't know how it's going to go. Nobody knows all the rules. So,
You know, and
I'm sorry. What was you say?
I was about to go to last but not least.
No, I was gonna add in there. You know, every day you have somebody new entering the portal.
Yeah.
So that changes everything. Because okay, is this guy better than the one we were looking at? Do we want to go after him? You know, all of that.
Yeah. All right. So, are we good now to go
Yeah,
last?
yeah, go. Let's go.
Last but not least, one thing Gus didn't do: ones versus ones in practice.
Yes. Thank you, God.
I think I might make
Best
that
on best.
Yeah. Like he said, you sharp iron with iron.
Yeah. Steel sharpens steel.
I thought that this was like, you obviously do this, but apparently Gus never did this.
Well, I think Gus, when he was the OC on Gene Chiswick's staff, they went best on best or 1v1, however you want to say it. And I think somebody got hurt. So when he started head coaching, he went ones versus twos.
And we were obviously outmatched because we were unprepared.
Yes. But, you know, you need. All right, I remember, and like I said, I wasn't a very good high school player, but I remember going out there in spring practice or what have you. You're working and it's hot, and I'd have this offensive lineman that would just be whipping me all day. You know, it just seemed like nothing I could do. I couldn't get around him. Coach is in my ear, hollering and screaming, calling me fat and slow and lazy. And you get tired of it, and bam, that fight breaks out. He blocked me one time too many, and just we'd start fighting.
No matter what move you used, you just couldn't get around.
You have them days. Everybody has them days. I don't care if you're a 10-year vet.
Yeah.
In the NFL, you have them days where it don't matter what you do, you get beat. And you have that fight. And, man, that's what brings you together as a team. You know, I mean, I know it sounds weird, but, you know, hey, it ain't nothing to walk away from practice with a busted lip, busted nose.
Yeah.
You're going to be buddies after it's all over with.
Something about dudes like us with fighting, just so weird. We become friends afterwards.
I mean, we were friends before.
Yeah.
But, you know, I was tired of him whooping my ass, so I couldn't do it by playing football, so I punched the mug in the face. We go to fighting, you know, or it never would get to that point. Somebody on the defensive line, you know, if I had a bad day or what have you, they jump on me. You're making us look bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's just the game of football. It's just how it is. You know, but you got to have that, because every time I got whooped that day in practice, the next day in practice, I didn't get whooped.
Yeah.
You're not doing it twice in a row. Not 2 days in a row. No, sir.
Went home, hit up a tree.
Do something. When I come back out to practice that next day, I was gonna. It was all in my mind to own him.
Ribs.
Do what you got to do.
Yeah, but like, how on earth is Marlon Davidson gonna get better if you don't go up against our best left or right tackle? How is Derek Brown gonna get better? He don't go up against our center. How are they gonna get better? Like, the sled only does so much.
Exactly, and
the second string center ain't as good as the first string center.
If he was, he'd be the starter.
Exactly.
You know, but hey, it is what it is, man. We're going best on best. You know, he didn't say every day, which you can't go best on best every day.
Then you're for sure gonna get hurt.
Then you're not ready for Saturday, but you got to have that best on best. And during the 8A game, you know, going ones versus twos, our first team offense would annihilate our first team defense. You know, I remember going to the first 8A game with Jarrett Stidham, and he put up 60 points on our second team defense. I mean, it wasn't even a game.
Yeah.
You know, so I mean, you got to go best on best. I mean, you know, Alabama's had 8A games where their first team offense lost. Second team defense or first team defense won.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if that happens, that happens. That shows you where you need work. You don't know where you need to get better if you're not going best on best.
Exactly.
Are you ready?
I mean, like closing stuff, man. You know, this is
closing stuff. I watched the interview. I was ready to put my pads on and go play.
You know, well, you're
Put
about
me in, coach.
You're about 20 years too late on that.
if not more.
You know,
I'm about 20 years and 100 pounds too late on that one.
Yeah, but like if you like the video, please hit the like button. You know, it really makes our day that you allow us to penetrate your ear holes. It was very enjoyable.
Yeah, we're
Very
trying to get to
pleasurable.
150 subscribers. I think we're at 145. Hit that subscribe button. You know, we're putting out content. If you don't like what we're doing, let us know in the comment section. We'll change it up. We'll bring you something different. But we're having a blast doing this. I'm really enjoying it. I love talking sports. I really love talking Auburn football. And if we wasn't doing this right here for your entertainment, we'd be doing this here driving my wife and daughter crazy.
Yep, because we're doing this at midnight. So, like, hair looks crazy. We're not dressed right, but, like, this is midnight.
Yeah.
Yeah, it happens when you have headaches and you got to take a nap.
And you have a job.
You spend 2 hours doing this after, like, 5 hours doing homework.
You know, but anyhow, War Damn Eagle, we love you.
War Eagle. Selena, go!
Oh.
Stop!